Hi guys, thank you for joining me here at the fabulous Hibblestow Lakes. It's in North Lincolnshire and it's an absolutely fantastic venue. I'm going to be fishing the Pleasure Lake tonight because I really want to catch a fish because I want to break my blanking streak. It's the 2-year anniversary of me getting my PB at £16.4. Even if I catch, I'm not going to break it on this lake. They only go up to the low mid doubles in here, but the fish is going to be great. The main reason that I'm coming to you to do this video tonight is to talk about something that I mentioned I bought back in January. I wanted a new bivvy that was big enough that I could fit myself and my son in, but also have the flexibility to be able to put my family in, take my missus and my daughter as well. Bearing in mind my children are only little, 3 and 18 months, and I wanted something that had a lot of options. So I was mainly looking at things like the Tracker Tempest RS, the Nash Titan T2 Pro and things along those lines, but they're really expensive. I didn't have sort of 1700 quid to throw on a Tracker Tempest RS with all the extras and with the utility front, and it didn't really fit my needs. I was on Facebook and I ended up with some adverts popping up for a company I'd never heard of before called Quest Tackle. Now I started looking at the company and I couldn't go view any of their bivvies in the shops because they only deal online. I couldn't really find any decent reviews on the bivvy either. The only one that I do, and I have to say thank you to Jason over at JVA Carpy Adventures, because I found his video and he had the Mark II and he'd done a video about it and what was good about it, what was not so good about it, and that kind of pushed me to take the plunge. Now Quest offer a 30-day money back guarantee. No quarrels, as long as you've not taken it out fishing or anything. You know, set it up in your backyard, make sure it's what you want. If it's not, they'll give you your cash back if you send it back to them. And I thought, you know what, for how much the cost, I'm going to take the plunge. And then my next thought was, I'm going to make a video to show other people what the Mark III's like. Now, Quest have got loads and loads of videos online, absolutely loads, showing you the different features, how to set them up, and so on. But to me, I didn't know whether that was just marketing. And the other thing was, a lot of the people that were reviewing it always said the good for the money. The good for the money, or the great quality for the money. And that didn't actually fill me with confidence because I didn't know what they meant by that. Because they are a lot cheaper than some of the other leading brands. And I thought, does that mean, yeah, because I'm not paying very much, yeah, they're all right, you know, I didn't pay that much for it, so I'm not bothered? Or is it actually I didn't pay a lot for it and these are fantastic? And I'm going to step you through this. I'm going to show you the setup sped up so you can sort of see how it goes up and how easy it is, and show you around some of the features, because to be perfectly honest, I bought this blind completely going into it, and you know, so far it's been fantastic, and that's why I wanted to show you guys. Sorry about the break in the filming, guys. I had a fish on, £5 tench, so I haven't bothered to photograph it because I forgot my camera on the tripod and I was still videoing, so I was like, you know what, I'll leave it. I'm rebaited now, the back out on the spot, and I'm going to show you around the bivvy. So here it is. This is the Quest Defier Mark III. This is the basic bivvy that you get from them. So it comes with the storm poles, it comes with a zipping ground sheet, and you also get a vapor shield with it. It's a lovely, lovely bivvy. It has 20,000 hydrostatic head, so it's fully waterproof, and it's also got a blackout liner and 4 vents all the way around. So you can see just about inside. The storm poles on the front, I've got them running down to the sides because I'm going to open the front up. If you need it to be a little bit more stable when you're You know, if it's really stormy weather, it's really, really strong if you put them straight down. But I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but it is solid, and I'm pulling on that pretty hard. Good, nice feature that I like is the block. Now, on a lot of the photos and videos, it looks plastic. It isn't. It's solid metal. You've got the Velcro bits on the front. You do have vents on the front and the sides. There's my alarm going again. Just a little liner. Yeah. Oh. Fish on. Sorry about that, guys. It was another tench to around £4-5. Put up a nice fight, but it's also disrupted me from doing my video. So I was talking about features and the block. The poles are 16mm thick, and they're this sort of matte finish. Really, really nice. Feel really, really sturdy. All the clamps and everything feel really good. There's a rain gutter on the front to stop the water dropping on you. Now, the skull cap only comes to about here, and at first I thought it was a bit of an oversight on the design, and then I realised the whole point of it is that the rain then drops off onto the gutter so you don't get it running over the door. So yeah, they have thought about stuff. It is a big bivvy for a one man, but it's I miscalculated a little bit and got a wide bed, Nash MF60, and I've also got a large chair in the solar sofa chair, and the floor is wide enough, but because there's the big slope on the front, I can't sit inside side on. I have to sit with my legs out, and my feet end up coming out under the overwrap if I've got the overwrap on. A little bit my own fault there, because I realised if I've got the overwrap on, I can just open the front and you gain all the space from the peak with the overwrap, and a little bit at the bottom as well. So that's not really an issue. Now, people ask about the ground sheet. So, I'll go inside. Now, it's got little peg out points on it, and it's really easy to zip in. A lot of people say, what do you do first? Do you put the ground sheet down? Do you put it in after? I find it easiest to put the ground sheet down, peg it out with the bivvy, and then zip it in after the fact. So just get this in, need both hands. So because I've got it pegged out, you just pull the flaps, make sure I don't catch any of the material. And just zip it in like that, and what it does is it not only seals you from all the critters outside and the rats and anything else if you've got any problems like that, but it also stops any wind coming up the inside or anything, keeps the mozzies out, and if you get a heavy rainstorm, it seals you in. Now I need to just pull it out at the front a little bit. Well, that's how easy it is to attach the ground sheet. Very, very easy. And you can make it into a bathtub at the front, or you can open it out and let it lay flat, and you just peg it in and peg it out. That's from the ground sheet. You just peg it with a bivvy at all the main post points. Now, as you can probably see, it's bright sunshine out here, beautiful weather. You go in here, and even if I look towards the sun, you know, there's no sunlight getting in here. It is pitch black, absolutely pitch black when you're in here and it's all zipped up. So this is the vapor shield that comes with it, so it just hooks on up the top, and I've got the inner capsule, but I don't tend to bother. The inner capsule goes on at these points, there's one down there, and so on. I've found the vapor shield to be perfect, to be honest. Works a treat. Now, some things that you're not getting, I suppose. Now on your higher end stuff, yeah, this is for the door on both sides, nice little plastic buckle to roll up. However, for rolling your doors back and things, you've got your toggle ties. Now when you consider that I bought the full package of this for £759, that includes my bivvy, ground sheet, vapour shield, inner capsule, overwrap, utility front, and a ground sheet for the utility front and the storm poles. To get sort of a similar equivalent in the Tracker RS, you're probably looking around 14, 15 plus. So it's like half the price. Half the price. I can live with toggle ties for half the price. Another feature that's a little bit different is, obviously, it's just a Velcro strap for your rod straps. It's the same on the utility front, it's the same on the overwrap. Just a Velcro strap. Does it hold your rods and stop them falling over? Yes, it does. It does exactly what you want it to do. Is it worth another £1,000 or £700 for magnetic straps? I don't think so. You've got your clipping points, so this is where your clips for your utility front and your skull cap go. Just on the back here. And one thing I don't really like is that the skull cap and the utility front use like an elastic. It'd be better with this kind of webbing strap, so you can pull it tight, but it does the job. I've never had any issues with it. I say the material is really, really nice. Really, really nice and thick with this rubber coating on the inside. And a lot of the bags for the accessories are made out of this stuff as well. On top of that, there's another feature that is missing really compared to your higher end stuff. So your mesh, you can only open up the vents from the outside, which I thought was a bit of an oversight. Because if I've got my overwrap on, then I want to be able to open up my vents, possibly, and I'd have to take the overwrap off or put my hands up inside. And then I thought to myself, if I've got my overwrap on, it's most probably not the weather I want the vents open for. So really, it's not that much of an issue. And if you know you're going to want your vents open, because it's maybe this time of year, I'll be putting my overwrap on tonight for a bit of extra space. And I think I'll leave these vents open. So that's the inside. That's the bivvy. Absolutely cracking bit of kit, as I said. And this is really, really heavy duty in the ground sheets. Fantastic, it really is. So I'm going to finish getting myself set up, get sat down, get my bed in, and then I'll have a bit more of a talk through the bivvy. So before it gets way too dark, this is the overwrap. So goes on, you can just hook it over onto the other pegs for the main bivvy. It does only come with two, so again another little bit of a cost cutter, but you can just use the elastics at the bottom and hook them over your pegs for your bivvy. Got all the same vents around. It's the same 20,000 hydrostatic head. You've got your rod straps as well, the atypical Velcro, as I said, the toggles. Lovely mesh though, it works really well. It's really, really fine, you can see through it really well. And then the great thing is you can pull the ground sheet out to match up. I've not done a very good job of it here, but you can get that, and then as you can see inside the bivvy, that's an MF60 wide, so it is nearly a metre wide, that, and obviously that's a sofa chair from Solar. It's really big, and you can see where it would be. I mean, I could push it all a little bit further back, but you'd never sit on it, but you gain all that space by adding the overwrap on. Lots of space, especially for the one manor. And the utility extension adds another 1.6 metres, so it is huge, and I'll try and get some pictures of that as well to show you. But absolutely fantastic bit of kit. What I will do is have a chat to you. I've been getting pestered by tench. I'm now on my 5th tench out, hoping for a carp still. The lake, absolutely stunning. This is the pleasure lake at Hibblestow Lakes. I think there's 10 pegs on here, £20 for 24 hours. And the cars you can see there, those are guys that are fishing onto the Specimen Lake, which is 17 acres. Difficult lake, but there's some beautiful fish in there. Okay, I'll get back to you shortly. So, I'm now sat in my bivvy. Time to chill out for me. The rods are in. I've got one fishing, RG baits, the formula with Arctic Crab, which is the rod that's produced all the tench today. I've had some dropbacks and some liners on one of my rods. That's using a Sticky Baits mulberry yellow pop-up that I've trimmed to look a little bit like corn. That's off a reed bed, and I've got another one off the reed bed as well that is using the Outlaw Pro Natural Attract. The Natural Attract hasn't been having anything going on, so I am thinking of switching things up onto the RG Arctic Crab, because if the tench are having it, then I'm thinking that the carp are going to have it. The best thing is, I'm sat here in my Quest Defier MK3 with the overwrap all closed up. You can probably see I've got the mesh here. I've got all the mesh open on the front, so I actually have a really, really good view out over the lake with it. But, you know, I'll show you. So you've got all that across so that you can keep your eye on your rods, and you can see everything that's going on, because like I said, it's really good. You know, if this light's off, you can see through it almost like it's not there. So, other points with this bivvy: you get the PVC covers for the doors, something you don't get with some of the higher end stuff, and you've got to pay for them separately. So with the bivvy, you get it for the front door. With the overwrap, you get it for the overwrap. With the extension, you get it for the extension. I've just looked up the prices, and you're looking at about £389 for the bivvy. I think it's £689 for the bivvy with the overwrap and stuff. But you do get offered 5% off straight off the bat just for signing up. And they do have sales on through the year. That's how I got mine. I paid in total for my full kit £759, and I got everything, the whole lot: the bivvy, the vapor shield for the inside of the bivvy, the inner capsule, the overwrap, the ground sheet, the utility front, and the utility front ground sheet. I've used the utility front when I come with my family, because like I said, it adds an extra 1.6 meters onto the bivvy. So I literally will have a bed like I have now, you know, flat against the back, and then a bed with the head down the other way, and it still gives me some living space. They are releasing a Quest Defier MK3 in a 2-man, and I've already spoken to my wife. They're on pre-order at the moment, and I believe they're coming in around end of April into May. I haven't ordered one because they don't have the accessories yet. I believe that's coming later in the year. But to give you a little bit more confidence in what I think of this, when that Mark II comes in, I'm thinking of buying a Mark II with the utility front and stuff. So later this year, maybe early next year, before the season sort of starts, where the wife and kids will be coming with me, I'm seriously considering getting the 2-man as well. So I'd have this for when it's just me, or me and my son, and the 2-man when we're going as a whole family. It is good for the money, as people say, but that does not do it justice. It really doesn't do it justice. It is fantastic quality for the money. Fantastic product for the money. The reason they give on the website, they do all say this, you can go and look it up on their website, is they're the people that import. They're the ones that go, they get the design, it gets imported to them, and they sell direct to you as a customer. And they don't have a middleman to pay. They don't have, you know, the premium titles, you know, the premium names associated with it. I believe, through a little bit of research on my own, that this is made in the same factory as another named brand that's very similar. You keep my eye on that rod, sorry. I do believe it's made in a similar factory, and I've been to a place in Doncaster. There's a place called Independent Fishing Tackle, and they've got what they call the bivvy village. They've got, you know, about 30 bivvies that are set up in the car park. You can go around, you can have a look at them all. I've looked at the Fox Frontiers, I've looked at the Tracker Tempest RSs, I've looked at the Nash Titan Pros. This material here, this stuff, feels nigh on exactly the same as the Tracker stuff. I liken this one to the Tracker RS because I would say this is probably what it's competing with. It's very similar. It's that quick up shelter. It's got the utility front like the Tracker ones do. And my personal reason for going for this rather than the Tracker was, albeit the Tracker Tempest RS 200 was a much bigger bivvy in total, the utility front only came with 1.2 metre extension, no ground sheet. You had to use the door from the bivvy to the front, so I wanted to be able to maybe close off my son into the bivvy, and I can do that with the extension on this. And also, there were lots of other things that didn't seem to have been thought out. So the extension on the Tracker, the side doors, I don't think have got mesh from what I've seen. I looked it up, I couldn't find anything about the side mesh. The Quest stuff, you've got two doors on the extension. You've got a mesh door on the side, on both sides, and on both sides you've got a mesh door, and you've got the normal door. And then on the front, you've got a very similar door to what I've got here on the overwrap, where you have the front panel where you can lift it up and it's mesh. However, it does not have mesh on the sides like this. It's just got it on the front, but you do have the big side doors that you can open up. I've had this out in some strong winds, and it's coped very, very well. Now, I've come from having a really old school Nash Titan. So it's a Nash Titan T4000, which I think came out around 2011, 2012 or something like that. I got it second hand, so I don't know the full details. And that thing is solid as a rock, and it's like a canvas material. But none of the leading brands seem to do that sort of material anymore. They've all gone to this kind of stuff that's a little bit more hardware in plastic feel to it. I think this is 400D, something like that, nylon material, or 420, something like that. And my Nash Titan's been fantastic as a bivvy, absolutely great. Can't fault it. Superb quality. Lots of things have been thought through and played with and whatnot. But sorry, I've got a phone call coming through. I just cancelled that. Lots of things have been thought through in it really, really well. And this is the same. You've got your plastic clips. Yes, okay, some things aren't as premium. They're not as Gucci as what you get on some of the premium brands. But I'm sorry, right? If I was to get, say, a Tempest 150, which is probably similar to what this is, I'd be looking at maybe £1,500 to get a skull cap and to get a utility front that doesn't make it as big as this. Do I really want to be paying, £700-800 more to have a magnetic rod strap and plastic buckles to hold doors back? Are they really worth that much? No, in my opinion, they're not. So when people say it's fantastic, they say it's good for the money. That thing that really made me think twice about buying one. It's good for the money, it's good for the money. What they should be saying is, for what you pay for one of these, they are fantastic. They really are. Flat out applause to Quest. They've done a really, really good job with this. Really, really good job. And I'm looking forward to the two-man, maybe getting one of them. I do have another Quest product. I've got the umbrella. Tried that, great. I'll do another review on that and talk through that. But for now, talking about the Quest Defier, please, if you have any questions or you want me to do another video showing you some features on the Quest Tackle, on the Quest Defier Mark III bivvy, please put them in the comments and I'll make another video to show it. But for now, I'm going to enjoy my fishing. I'm going to have some food, maybe change my bait, because my my left hand rod's gone a little bit quiet, so I suspect the boiler may have come off, because that's the one that's been getting a lot of action. And if I get any decent fish, carp, hopefully tonight, then I will post them up. Have a great time. I'll see you later. Goodbye.